Welcome to Conversations with Chef Octavia. I am Chef Octavia. Conversations with Chef Octavia is a conversation evolved around God, food, and health. I always give practical tips and godly principles that's going to help you just be better overall in your overall health, your overall diet, whether it's mental health, physical health, all the way around, but it's always lined up with God. I always give practical tips and practical steps that you could apply right now, right in the moment, so you don't have to wait, you don't have to delay. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it. I have been on the topic of anxiety, right? And what anxiety is, definition of anxiety is a feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease, typically about an event or something within an uncertain outcome, right? And anxiety is always lined up, or not lined up, but always comes with some type of dis-ease or uncomfortability, or where you're nervous or you're anxious, all of those things, right? So as believers, right, we shouldn't be walking in any of that, none of it, right? We shouldn't have, I just have really bad anxiety. No, as a believer, no. I got God. I should not be doing that. So I want to give you guys practical tools, and I'm going to be very transparent on how anxiety has affected me, how I overcame it. Yes, I'm going to testify, if you want to call it that, all the things, right? How I overcame it. And of course, I'm going to give you practical tips lined up with the word and how I overcame it. So I had a situation where I was arrested, right, over a speeding ticket that I had like years ago that was unpaid, all the things, and I was arrested, right? Never been like in that kind of trouble ever in my life, where never done anything that would cause me to get arrested. And I was just normal day, me and my sister in the car driving, police pulled us over. I'm thinking nothing. Cool, I didn't even know why he was pulling us over, but it was cool. I wasn't thinking nothing of it. It came up. I don't want out for my arrest. They arrested me right there. I'm freaking out in a way, kind of. But like I would say, on the inside of me was freaking out because I've never been arrested. So, I'm so grateful that I have God, because even in that moment, I could have lost it, right? And a lot of times we allow our emotions and circumstances to get the best of us to where we're not even functionable, right? And so in that moment, yes, I was a little hysterical, like, oh my God, like, why am I, like, for what? You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I had God, right? So I'm listening to God, because at the same time, I got my sister there, so she has to be able to function, right? And to know, okay, how to bail me out, all the things, right? Get the car home, all of that stuff, right? And so all of these things are happening, right? And I'm in the back of the police car, and I am kind of like freaking out, I like my arms had fell asleep, kind of were like literally numb, kind of like it was just all the things. But even in that, God was like, you're okay, right? In that, I had to be okay. That was not the time to allow anxiety or what was happening to me to take over. It's never a time for that, right? To take over, because at the end of the day, whether I passed out, freaked out, whatever I did in that moment, it was not going to change the fact that, okay, you're locked up, right? But I'm so grateful to God because when they got me to the thing, and I used to watch a lot of like court shows, all of that. Like that's my thing. I love watching those things, jail shows, all of that, right? And all of these things are going in my head like, oh my God, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. But at the same time, I had to hear the Lord in that and say, hey, you're okay. Calm down, you're okay. So when they got me, there was a lot of people that was processing, so they put me off to the side. Because at that moment, I wanted to break down, and I was literally about to cry. Literally about to cry. And the Lord was like, hey, nope, you're good. Calm down, get it together, breathe. And, and so I was able to, process through whatever. I was in there for maybe about 6, it might have been 8 hours, right? But from the smells to all things, right? If I didn't have gotten in that moment, I know I would have lost it. I know I would have freaked out. And it was a lady that had came in, and she lost it. She was hitting her head on the wall. They had to put her in a whole nother room. Like, it was like real. And I'm like, oh my God, right? But I had to keep my composure in God. And so even in that, right, that process, after that, this situation had started to, this one situation had started to control me. Every time I seen a police, whether, they were just passing by or whether they were responding to something else, right? I'm freaking out every time. And we had a service, I think it was like Reset, like it's kind of like our women's Bible study. And a lady had asked a question, and one of the questions she had asked was, how long do I have to deal with this? And it wasn't particularly anxiety. I can't remember what she was talking about. I think it was something that happened to her. And my first lady's response was, as long as you want to. Simple as that, right? And so in that moment, that freed me, because I was like, wait, this is starting to control me. This happened, months ago, right? It's starting to control me. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to get therapy. I did get your natural stuff, right? But at the same time, I'm like, I could take authority over it, right? So I had to look in the word of God and say, no, anxiety, nah. I got authority over this. I have control over this. So therefore, it's not going to run me. It's not going to dictate how I move. Because even, it was one night I was pulling out, and we have officers at the church, and he was pulling out, and he pulled his lights on, but he was just getting out. Like, he just put his lights on. I freaked out, right? I just froze up like, oh my God. And I had to compose myself, right? Or get control over that and say, no, anxiety is not going to dictate this fear, because when you see the police, you should feel a sense of safety, right? But at the same time, yes, things happen, and this is no shade to the police, none of that, right? But at the same time, I'm with God, so I need to know, no, I'm safe always, no matter what. I'm safe always because I have a relationship with God. I have a thriving relationship with God. So how am I allowing this one circumstance, this one thing to dictate my life, or how I'm gonna have a panic attack? Or when you say things like that, that's what's going to happen, because you've allowed that situation to control you, right? You've allowed that fear, you allowed that anxiety to control you. Nothing will control me but the word of God, right? But what he said, right? But we have to take control of that thing. I had to take control of that thing because, and I'm looking back on it now, if I did not, leading up to it, it would have built the anger going to my court, like going into the court I still had to deal with it, right? I still had to, but no matter, I probably would have wilded out in court over nothing, right? Over something that, okay. And even in that whole situation, God showed so much favor, so much grace, right? Because the tickets was mine, right? But it was just it was a elapsed time that I didn't pay it, and they put a warrant out, right? So that's what they do here. It's all good, right? It happened, right? But I learned from it, right? And at the same time, I overcame that thing, and I was able to apply the word. But even in that, God was still with me no matter what. No matter what the outcome, he's like, hey, Octavia, hey, I have you. And it was at that moment when I decided to take control, to say, no, this ain't gonna dictate me. Right? My first lady said, oh, as long as you want to. That's it. So you mean I don't have to do this, right? I don't have to allow this to control me. Got it. Let's go. What does the word say about it? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like you have to take control, or I had to take control over it. But the outcome, everything's worked out. I'm fine now. You know what I'm saying? I overcame it. Yes, I did do therapy to give me practical tools on how to overcome anxiety and things like that, or how to take control over it, right? In natural, right? Of course, spiritually, yes, I apply word, right? So practical steps. I have 2 today. I always give practical steps that you can apply right now today. So number 1, you choose. It's a choice. You choose to take control. I made up my mind. This ain't gonna dictate me. That enough is enough. Because at the end of the day, when we allow those emotions to run us, or the fear, the uneasiness, or run us, it's like it doesn't solve the problem. It doesn't, like, your issue is still there, right? Nothing happens by me freaking out or lashing out on somebody or having aggression or harboring that anger in my heart towards the system, towards, it does nothing. It does nothing, right? So I had to choose to take control. So your situation may be exactly what happened, but it may be something dramatic or something, and I'm not dismissing the experience. I'm not dismissing the truth or the facts or what you feel, right? But at the same time, you can't allow what you feel to control you. You can't. Or what happens to you control you, because things in life is going to happen, right? Circumstances going to happen, things that you may not want to do, things that you're fearful of. Yeah, it's going to happen. And yes, that's real. But at the same time, it's just like, no, I have authority. I have control. I'm not going to let this dictate how I move. It don't matter, right? So number 1 was choose to take control. Number 2, apply the word. Apply the word. You have to stand on scriptures, right? To take control. And it's just like confessing the word of God. I had to begin to confess the word of God and what God says about anxiety. It says, be anxious for nothing. Why am I anxious? Why am I fearful? It ain't gonna hurt me. It ain't gonna harm me. So why? Why? So I take control with the word of God. I take control by confessing the word of God, by speaking that thing, right? So it's like, nah, this is not going to control me, right? So here are some scriptures that you can use, you can apply. All of those things are some that help me. Psalms 46:1, God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. So that lets me know that he's present even in my troubled times, my troubled situation, my trouble, even me sitting in them handcuffs. Like, I'm in trouble, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. So yeah, he's a present help in that moment by moment. You're okay. You're okay. Breathe. You're okay. Yep. Your hands didn't went to sleep because this a long ride. Yep. You're okay. Breathe. This ain't going to take you out because I'm with you. Very present. He's present. So that was Psalms 46:1. Isaiah 41:10. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Right? He will strengthen you. In that moment, I needed strength. That whole process, I needed strength. Overcoming anxiety, I needed his strength. I couldn't do that on my own. I wouldn't have been able to do that on my own without him. So these are scriptures, like real scriptures that you could apply to your situation and just begin to confess it. No, God, you're with me. So I thank you that you're with me in this. Even in those moments, because sometimes you know, it ain't right back, right? But it's like in the moment you recognize, oh, nope, like you're with me. You're a present help right here. I feel like I'm in trouble, but I'm not, because you're with me, right? Proverbs 18:10. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous man runs into it and is safe. So that means I am running to the Father and I'm safe. So the moment I run to God, that means I'm safe. So the moment I ran to God and like that moment they put the handcuffs on me, I'm safe. That sounds crazy, but it's like I'm safe. No matter what happens, I'm safe. I'm safe with him. I'm safe in his arms, in his presence. I am safe. So that no matter what, I'm safe. I could run to him and be safe. Even if it's something I did that I got myself into, I'm safe. I am safe. God, thank you that I am safe. Even at home, me just saying, God, I'm safe. You good. So there's no room for the uneasiness, because his word, confessing the word, it brings ease. It brings rest. It brings joy. It brings peace. Like, nah, I don't have to. Nah. My daddy got it. We good. I'm safe with him. So I don't got to worry about nothing. Right? Not saying I'm out here in these streets just doing what I want to do, right? But I'm still, you know what I'm saying, like living right. Like, don't get wrong, right? But at the same time, with God, I could always run to him and be safe. I could always call upon his name and be safe. I could always rest in him and be safe no matter what. So those are your practical steps. Those are some just tools that will help you in this. I pray that this bless you. I pray that you're able to apply this and just overcome that anxiety. Don't let that stuff run y'all. Do not let that stuff run you. And you confessing God and you saying, I have anxiety, I have this. Nah. Don't let it run you. Do not let it run you. So that's all I have for today. So I hope y'all have enjoyed this, and I will see y'all on the next video. Have a good week. And again, take control and apply the word.